Hi everybody, it's Mark Shellshear. This is the Mark Art Show coming to you from the Shellshear Project in Brisbane, Australia. I had a question out of yesterday's video pertaining to that friend of mine who was an artist who taught and the effect it had on his life. So I'll give you the question and then we'll talk about it. The question was, Mark, you mentioned that artist friend of yours who taught art and found he was no longer creating new art but painting for his students. Does this happen to all artists who teach? Well, the answer is simply no, it doesn't happen to all artists who teach. Most artists who teach very differently than what he was doing, and I'll tell you what he was doing in a moment. But most artists who teach 1 or 2 days a week or do weekend seminars, and they find these things very stimulating. It's great to get out amongst people and see people learning techniques, new things, and teaching people what you know. That's great fun. And I encourage every artist to do that. Teach people, teach your friends, get a small group once or twice a week together and paint. It's very stimulating, or do whatever art you do. It's very stimulating and it's good for you. It's good for you because it makes you think a little bit more about your art, and teaching helps the person who teaches as well. Now, the friend I mentioned, he was in a very different position. Remember, we're talking back in the 1970s. He had been working and he lost his job, so he couldn't work anymore, and he painted usually part-time. You know, he was just a fun painter who enjoyed painting, and he sold a little bit. But after he wasn't able to work, he found that he wasn't earning enough from sales, and he had a big family to support. And these were the days when the wife didn't go to work. So he was the sole breadwinner for the family. So he was a good artist, and what he decided to do was teach. This would earn the money that he needed for his family. So he taught usually 5 mornings a week, all morning, and then he taught most evenings and did weekend seminars. He was very popular. People loved him. He was a very friendly guy. He was very personable, and you felt like after you met him when you went to his classes, because I did, you had known him for 100 years. He was that kind of guy. He was really down to earth. And of course, people flocked to him. He was a great teacher. He could teach them how to do, trees and skies, and he was a landscape artist. So he was really popular, and he made a lot of money from teaching. He had it as a job. He also did framing, usually in the afternoons. He sold the boards that the students used, and then he sold the frames to go on the paintings when they had finished them. So it was a complete industry in a sense. He was kind of an entrepreneur in art, and he found that after a while he stopped painting really for the love of painting, and he was painting purely for the students. And he said that he never got to where he think he should have got to if he had not taught. But hey, that's water under the bridge. You can't do much about that. He earned a very good living from his art, and he had a big family and he had to support them. So that's what I'm talking about. If you immerse yourself in it to that extent, it's going to have an effect on you. It really is. There's good money in teaching, and you can, if you're good at it and you're the friendly, outgoing type, you can get people to come and to be with you. Now, I used to teach. I've told you all that. I used to teach mostly Saturday mornings when I taught young kids. I taught them how to draw and how to paint. Now, remember, I didn't actually paint. I would just draw a scene on the board and on a blackboard, and I would tell them, I want the sky to be purple. And then they would fill in the colors that they wanted. And it was fabulous for the kids because they could just let their imagination run wild, and they could do any colors they liked. And what really amazed me about kids was that they always end up with black, and in the end it kind of dissipates into this black sludge. But anyway, a lot of them did great work, and I loved being with kids. It was good fun. Rosie was there. It was good money, and it paid the groceries. And then on Thursday evenings, I used to teach drawing. Now, I decided a long time ago that I wouldn't teach painting, and I'll explain why in a moment. But I would teach drawing, teach still life, drawing chairs upside down, which is really hard to do, doing portraits, and my little girl was the model, so she'd wear different hats and different clothes, and she'd sit there. She was very good at it, and that's how we earned money. It was a good income. It made good money, and it helped me in those lean times when you're not selling. So I encourage you to go out and teach. Now, I didn't teach painting. Why didn't I teach painting? Because I saw what happened to my friend, everybody painted like him, and I saw what happened to another artist that I knew who taught people to paint, and I went to the show and I did the wrong thing. I asked where was the students' work, because it all looked exactly the same. And that was the reason I refused to teach people to paint, because I don't want people to paint like me. Okay, so that's why I didn't teach painting. But if you want to teach painting, teach painting. If you, whatever art you're in, and if you want to teach it. It's great, it's stimulating, it's fun, and you'll grow through it. So I encourage every artist to teach. I encourage you because it stretches you, it pushes you, and you're going to have to dig deep inside to teach people how to paint or how to draw or how to create something or how to make something. Okay, but it's fun. So I encourage you to do it. Just don't get immersed in it when so it ends up becoming your job, because that's not what you want. You want it to be a fun thing. You don't want it to be something that you're doing every single day of the week, because then it becomes just a job, and that's not fun. Okay, I hope that helps a little bit. I encourage you all to get out there and teach art, whatever your art is. Get 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, whatever numbers of people around you, and teach them what you do. You'll have great fun. You'll come up with great new ideas, and you'll expand yourself. Okay, so go out. Teach them all to paint. Doesn't matter what level you are at, you can do it. If you're just a raw beginner, well, get people who've never begun and teach them what you know, and you'll find you'll grow quickly doing that. Okay, my friends, I hope that helps. I hope that encourages you. If you disagree or you've got any comments, put them down below and I'll answer them. Okay, you have a great day. Remember, people are hurting out there. Hugs and smiles are free. Give them away generously. And I'm going to talk to you tomorrow. Ciao.